Hey, sweet souls. Welcome back to Conscious Lifestyle Coaching. My name is Raileigh Duschen. I'm an author, poet, speaker, and healer. Today's message is how to stop being comfortable and to grow. And I hope the connection is looking good, but we're just going to flow. And I am not comfortable coming on this live, but I'm going to speak from my soul. And that is the whole part about getting uncomfortable. Not waiting for everything to be perfect. It's never going to come. It's never going to happen. So we can be at peace with that, knowing that there is no time that is going to let us know perfectly that we are worthy or we should be doing something. It's just going to be that constant unsettled feeling until it isn't. But sometimes you don't get to the point of that settled peace feeling until you've already started walking the path, until you're already in it, until you've already taken the job, already in the relationship. And that is when the peace comes, and that is when your fear dissolves. But you won't know. You'll never know until you take that leap of faith or you try something out. So I'm here to empower you today and give you that message of being extremely uncomfortable. It's still part of the divine soul mission. It is still part of why you're here on this earth, knowing that you are a chosen seed for divine light and love here on this planet. And it's not always going to be easy at all. We're going to be asked by the Holy Spirit to do things. We're going to question. We're going to wonder why we have to do it. Why me? We're going to receive visions and intuitive guidance along the way that's going to make us want to pull our hair out, sometimes want to throw up because it's so nerve-wracking to be asked to ascend to such a level of our lives, whether that's physically, whether that's emotionally, whether that's in your career, to be asked to ascend to a certain vibration that you never think that you can achieve, and yet you're being asked to do it. Your own intuitive guidance is giving you visions and dreams all the time and little nudges of the universe, divine synchronicities that you can never plan for yourself, and yet it happens, and yet it comes, the miracle comes, these visions come. And so now it's up to you as this human vessel on this planet to say yes to that divine blessing that's waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. And that's where we get stuck as human beings. We live these little cozy lives with security and certainty. And for some reason, every time we say yes to the divine path or yes to this higher sense of purpose, everything seems to fall apart. Things always come and get in our way. And of course that's going to happen. When we say yes to the divine, to God, to the universe, that means that something's opening through you. There is a divine channel opening through your body at that point. It's going to manifest in your life. And so much cosmically has to happen. So much energetically has to happen in your life and through you. You're going to change. The moment you say yes, everything must change. Everything must suddenly shift around you. That's uncomfortable. That is the growing pain. And so when we say yes to the divine love and to the blessing and things start falling apart, that's when we start to doubt. That's when we get afraid and we question whether we are being guided on a wrong path. And we hate to get to that point where we question God, but that's normal. That's normal that we question. Because again, the divine, the universe is asking you to do something very important, something that only you can do, but not the person that you are right now, the person that you have to become in this journey, in this process. And so even if your mind is telling you not to do something, there is still a higher calling, and you have to do it, you have to complete it, you have to push through the discomfort. Even if you don't feel like it. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming in. Let me know how you're doing and how this message resonates with you. Even if you do not feel like doing something, you don't want to get out of bed. It doesn't feel right, and yet you know, because you received a message, you received a vision, your soul knows. But you're afraid, you're human, doesn't want to change. It finds that comfort in that false sense of peace. It's an illusion because security doesn't exist. Certainty doesn't exist. There's only cycles and movement in nature, truly. And we have to learn to be okay with that. And if we don't surrender to that true divine movement of life, if we do not move with that wind, if we do not allow that rain to come, if we do not trust that the sun will shine out, then we stay stagnant like water. And what happens when water is stagnant? You can't drink it. It becomes toxic. There might be life in there, but I don't know, you might come out with a third eyeball or something. You don't want to swim in that water. And so we must flow with that spirit, even if our mind is telling us not to, even if we don't feel like it. And that's another thing about being on the spiritual path. And as a woman, sometimes we honor our feelings and our thoughts more than obeying our soul and trusting our soul. We allow our feelings and our emotions to become God. And that's when we get off track, because then we're allowing this human vessel to take over and to lead us and to guide us, when it's our spirit that wants to break free and to lead us and to guide us. But we have to push through the mind, push through the emotions, the feelings, and trust. Trust that you are capable of leading and guiding that inner child within you, that soul within you. And there's no other voice outside of you it's going to tell you, but you hear the voice. It's an extension of you, connected through everything in the universe, this private relationship, this intimate relationship you have been building with the universe, with God, the divine. You know the voice. And if you ignore it, that's when things get stagnant. So you have two options at all times. Choose the path where it's going to be maybe a little uncomfortable, but there's a promise on the other side of miracle. But if you choose to walk away, if you choose to look away because you're comfortable, because you feel secure now, you're never going to know what could have been on the other side of that promise, of that blessing. That's great to hear, Vivian. Being on the other side. And that stuff was trying to literally kill you, yes. And that's what we forget about, that when we trust our soul, when we trust God and trust the divine, it is leading us out of destruction and pain and turmoil that we can't see yet. But our brain is used to the comfort and the patterns and the conditions, and so we can predict things. But you can't predict God-sized moves in your life. So if you stay comfortable where you are, if you stay stagnant, if you do not trust this higher voice that's speaking to you every single day, telling you, guiding you to do something, but you're too afraid, you don't feel worthy or whatever it is in your life, and you say no, you're saying yes to something that God is trying to protect you from. And it could be death. It could be destruction. And so the more that we tap in and we tune into that inner guidance, that higher guidance, and we obey it, we listen to it, we trust it, we know the voice of wisdom within our own vessel, and we flow with it and we move with it, not knowing where it's going to take you, because you cannot predict it. You just have an intuitive knowing. In your body, your human is going to fight you every step of this journey until finally you break through. And then you find a new sense of conditioning and patterns and security in this new place. But get to the new place first. Try it out. See where it takes you. See what happens. And this is a warning. This is a divine call. If you say no to your soul, you're silencing your soul. Your soul is slowly diminishing. You're not honoring it. It's not being expressed, and so it withers. Your soul is like a seed. We need to pour love into it. We need to allow that soul to be heard. Yes, the darkness can take the form of logic. We try to rationalize God. We try to put God, the universe, the Holy Spirit in a box, and you can't. It's omnipresent. It's limitless. And so we cannot predict, we cannot imagine the divine vibration, frequencies, and realities that we are capable of living unless we flow, unless we move into our discomfort. Until we get in the muck, we get in the mud, we're not going to find those pearls. Yes, the mind can be manipulated. So how do you know? Can you tell the difference between the mind and your soul? How do you know the voice? It takes time to build that relationship of trust with yourself. Because there have been so many times in our lives when we have betrayed ourselves and we have took a leap of faith and we ended up flat on our face, but it still grew you. It was still part of the divine plan. Sometimes you have to scrape your knees a little bit, but you still get back on that bike and you keep pedaling. Right? When in your life has it hurt you to keep going, but you keep pushing through because it's not killing you, but it's shaping you, it's reforming you, it's building you up to be, again, this ascended sense of self, this transformed self. It's growing pains. So how do we cope? How do we allow ourselves to move through that pain, but knowing the pain is temporary? The pain is almost an illusion. Well, yes, it's tangible. You can taste it. You can feel it. You ache. You hurt. But it's for a moment. It's for a season. In the promise that you will have a new body out of this. Your mind will have to transform. You will be a new person. When you say yes to the soul, when you listen to that higher voice that you have been learning and cultivating and shaping and protecting over time, the divine soul path is never always going to be comfortable. It's going to shake you up. It's going to shake your life up into pieces. Your ego will dissolve. Everything that you have ever known will suddenly not make any sense anymore because the old life has crumbled away. It doesn't exist anymore. The old version of you that would previously associate ideas and thoughts and beliefs, it's all disintegrated. It's reforming. It's renewing. This new universe is being born within you. So it is kind of like birthing. Yes, we must stretch. We must expand. So what happens when things expand? They break. They break open. And it's painful. But again, that pain is an illusion. It's a bruise. It's a tiny scratch on our fingertip. And it hurts. It bothers us. It's an annoying little bug. And it's always going to be like that. Every time we say yes to our divine path and soul mission, when we allow our gifts to be prospered, when we give life to our gifts, things are always going to come in the way. People are going to try to stop you, shame you, judge you, and you will be the worst enemy, your own self, that mind, those feelings, those emotions that get in the way every time you try to change your life, to better your life. But there's a higher version of you living within you right now that is guiding you. It is you. And so discerning which voice to listen to. And I'm here to remind you the point of the message today is that voice of the divine, of God, of your higher self, of your soul, is going to ask you to do things that make you uncomfortable. It's not going to feel good. It's not about always feeling good. I know that's a message in the spiritual community a lot, that follow what feels good. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does not feel good to birth things into creation. Isn't that a natural law of the universe? That it takes pain to birth a miracle? A little bit, yes, but it's nothing that you can't handle. That's the point. It's nothing that you can't handle. You are strong enough. That's why you have the vision. That's why you have this seed of purpose within you right now that you're about to release. That you're about to transform your whole life in order to carry it and to birth it and to create it and to fruit it and to protect it. It's not comfortable, but it's still blessed. It's still prosperous. And so if you're watching this tonight, Just know this journey is going to ask you to sweat and cry, but you are so strong because you're saying yes to this journey. And not everyone does. And there will be a time in our life when I won't be preaching about purpose anymore. It'll just be about doing nothing, just being here and watching trees all day. I hope I get to that point. But right now, we have a sense of drive to do something really important. And that's okay too. It's just a season. Pain is part of the process. Yes. So we're not here to worship this pain or any sacrifice. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about endurance. We're talking about patience. We're talking about trust. Those are holy vibrations. Those are divine vibrations. That is carrying something precious and beautiful up the mountain, to carry one sip of water to someone who has been in the desert for days, out of love, because you're capable, because you're strong enough and you can carry it. And that's beautiful. Yes, just be you. And it is you. It's you trying to push yourself right now in this moment, if you're watching this, to be a higher version of you, a version of you that you don't even know exists yet. But how will you know the possibility until you say yes to being uncomfortable right now? To walking away from jobs, relationships, being in the unknown, not knowing sometimes where you're going to live, or when you will feel that sense of community again. Sometimes you have to walk alone through the unknown, through the mystery, through the birthing channel of creation. In complete veiling, in complete darkness, because you trust, because your soul knows what's on the other side is life, light, empowerment. And so if you're watching this now or later, if you're being guided to change your life, and it's going to ask you to let go of something, release something. It's asking you to be someone you've never been before. And that's why it's uncomfortable, but it's blessed. It's divine. Yes. Thank you for sharing about being satisfied with the simple things and still smiling through it. You can be in your season of transformation and change and it not look like this idea of success you once had in your life. And you're walking in this tunnel and no one understands you. You don't even understand it. And yet you can be fulfilled and satisfied in this becoming, in this growing process. That is possible. That's called being in peace. That's called accepting the present moment. That is called being in surrender to the divine, to God, to the Holy Spirit moving through you. That is blessed. But it's scary because the mind wants to judge our process. It wants to judge our journey. It wants to keep you small and safe. But it's not always about being small and safe. Can you find safety and comfort in the change, in the transformation? That is even more powerful. That is even more blessed. That is a resilient person. That is a confident person. That is a person who knows themselves, accepts themselves, and forgives themselves along this journey, and is willing to continuously grow. They recognize that they are not a static being. They are a spiritual being in a human body, and they will make mistakes and they're not perfect, and yet they keep going anyway. They keep growing anyway. And if you're on this path, self-development, healing, and spirituality, if you're part of this community, you're going to have adversaries along the way. People are going to judge you. They're going to shame you. They're going to hate you. But remember, when that happens outside of you, it's a reflection of your own self reflecting out. So the kinder you are to yourself in here, the more that's going to reflect outside of you. But you have to validate yourself first. You have to love yourself first. Before you ask the world to love you, do you love you? Even not knowing what's happening right now around you, but yet you know you're being transformed into this beautiful, beautiful version of yourself who's going to serve so many people with these gifts that you have, this vision that you have, this seed that you're carrying. And it's going to be divine. even if it's not comfortable right now, even if you can't sleep at night, even if you're crying every day and you think God has abandoned you, you think you're going to be alone forever. You think this pain in your body, this disease will never heal, but it will. And you know that. You know that, but you want it to happen fast. You want it to happen now. But we're in this human vessel to experience endurance. It's lessons, it's an education. And so it's not supposed to come easy. We're here to become that healing, to become patient, to become the vibration of God here on earth, and then we transcend. Until the day we die, we're going to be constantly growing and seeking a higher path. So the more that you can be comfortable in this discomfort now, then the blessings will rapidly come to you. The more you can surrender these material things, even your emotions, these negative thought patterns, the quicker you surrender it, the more you're going to manifest divine frequencies, blessings, materials and tools and resources in the home, in the car, in the dog, whatever you want in order to elevate your path, to help you bring heaven to earth. That's why you're here. You are a portal of change. And so when you are that change, when you are that awareness, when you are that healing on planet earth, you're going to be constantly cycling through lessons, education, blessings, transformation, soul growth. Soul growth. That is who you are. You are a being who has accepted that they have the capacity to bring divine change, not only with themselves, into their homes, into their families, into the communities, into the land, into the society, into their country, into the world. That is how far you can expand. That is how far you can grow when you say yes to being uncomfortable and allow yourself to break and dissolve and become anew. But trust yourself. Please trust yourself. Trust that voice, the inner guidance that's speaking to you right now, that you hear in your dreams. It whispers to you wherever you go. People will stop you on the side of the road and speak to you, and you know it's God. You know it's an angel. You know that every thought, every feeling, every emotion is heard by God. And so you're still waiting. You're still waiting for that moment where you have the giant sign that falls out of heaven and tells you to do something. But no, you have to believe in yourself. That's what this journey is about. Believing in yourself, trusting yourself, and learning who you really are in your divine spiritual self, your higher self. Who you are in the eyes of God, in the eyes of divine, is about to be revealed because you're uncomfortable right now, because you feel like you have a lack of something. And that lack is going to be filled, and you will be satisfied, and you will feel whole, but it's going to happen through you. So stop waiting for it to fall out of the sky. You are the thing that fell out of the sky. You are the blessing. You are the angel. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. And my little puppy here's pitter-patter on this floor. Wasn't too annoying. The Phoenix Medicines book is out, published by Otter Pine. Please check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave a review on Amazon. Women Connected in Wisdom Volume 2 is the other book on spiritual wellness. I wrote a piece in that, if you'd like to read that. The Medicine Garden goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday. Hold me accountable, but you have to register, so I know you're coming, and I can make sure I'm off the farm and cleaned up and ready for you. So thank you to those who have signed up ahead of time. It's free every week, Thursdays at 8 p.m. If you want a retreat, come visit me here in Highlands, North Carolina. If there's any way I could be of an assistance to you on this path, I have coaching spots available. And I wish you guys peace and love. I'll talk to you again soon. And good luck. Good luck with what it is that you're about to grow into. And get uncomfortable, because it's going to be a beautiful ride, okay? Trust and belief. I'll talk to you all soon. Peace and love.